Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you've discovered it, yay, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate your support. And you already know that my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on a film's content and filmmaking quality so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching it. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Dandelion. This musical drama is now playing in theaters. Now, when I say musical, it's not a typical Broadway musical type, but it's a movie about musicians. And so we get a lot of really great performances. So, but I'll give you more information about that in just a second. This movie is rated R, and I'll give you some tips for parents here also in a minute. It's an hour and 53 minutes, and my overall movie review mom grade is a B+. I thought it was beautifully done. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell where I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that I also really like that are somewhat similar. But before I do that, I wanted to introduce you to today's featured product, which is offered by Amazon. And you can find a link down in the description below. It is Kiki Layne's mixtape. So yeah, we all knew she was beautiful. We all knew she was a great actress. And now we know she is a beautiful singer and songwriter. And so this album is something you may not have known about. I didn't even know it existed. Anyway, enjoy and let me know what you think about it. So back to the movie. So in a nutshell, the story is about a young female singer slash songwriter in a downward spiral as she takes a last effort gig at a motorcycle rally in South Dakota, where she meets Casey, a guitarist and singer who walked away from his dream long ago. The film was written and directed by Nicole Rigel. Already, the film has been nominated for 2 awards at a couple of different film festivals. So, congratulations to her. Quick tips for parents. This is rated R because of some of the content. For example, first of all, I think young kids are going to be bored, and hopefully teens might view this as a cautionary tale. We see topless women who have painted their chests, their skin, with patriotic designs. Have you ever seen that? The idea might sound cool, but in reality, when you see it, you're always kind of like, oh, because I've seen that, and that was my reaction. We also see smoking, alcohol. There is some profanity, including F-bombs. A mother is sick. We don't really know exactly what's going on with her, but we know she's very ill. A single girl and a married man go at it. Now we see a topless woman on top, and we see movement and we hear sound effects from both of the parties involved, if you know what I mean. We don't want your kids seeing that kind of stuff. And then we see people behaving badly basically because they're hurting in various ways. The old expression, hurt people, hurt people. We see some of that going on. And not to say there's violence, but I mean that they hurt people in other ways and that their behavior is bad in other ways. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are making your dreams come true, comparing yourself to others, the definition of success, the power of music, relationships, the financial struggle of those who want to make art and do it for a living, the kindness of strangers, and connection. So on to the list of things that I really liked about this. It starts, of course, with Kiki Layne. She is fantastic. As I mentioned, we knew that she could act. Now we know she can sing beautifully. And her final musical number is just terrific. Thomas Doherty is a delight with his cute Scottish accent and smooth singing voice. I liked his character until I found out a few things about it, and I don't want to give any spoilers. We get to hear some really great music as well as discover musicians like Brady and Jack Stablin of Brother Elsie. I had never heard either of them sing before. And I think this movie is going to have a really nice soundtrack because of the collection of really great musicians. I liked the opening scene where Dandelion strings her instrument with detailed care, showing that she really wants to be a respected artist. The movie isn't just about a character, but a look at art and creativity in general. I like how Dandelion sings quietly, a bit unsure of herself at the very beginning of the movie when she still doesn't quite know who she is and what she wants to say to the world. And it's really fun to watch her explore that and then blossom. Big spoiler there. I mean, you kind of know that that's coming, right? Dandelion's bartender friend asks her, "What kind of audience do you want?" And I think that is a really great, valid question. I ask my clients who are authors and other creatives that exact same question when they come to me for their very first coaching session. The first thing that you have to figure out when you want to sell something or offer a service is, whom do you want to serve? How do you want to make the world a better place? What are you going to do for that person to transform them from point A, meaning where they are now, to point B, where they want to go? I take my clients through this all of the time. And for some, it's a real epiphany because they've never really thought about it. And ultimately, I tell my clients, it's not about you, it's about your target audience and what you can give them, what you can do for them. And I liked what the author director of this film did and gave. I thought it was very well done. Whenever I'm in a restaurant or a venue with performers, I always try to clap after each song so that the performer doesn't get discouraged, you know? And we see some of that happen in this movie. And hopefully it is a reminder to patrons to be grateful for people who are showing vulnerability and sharing their talents with others. So the cinematography by Lauren Gutierrez shines a spotlight on Americana in general and the music scene in South Dakota in a lovely way. I loved her close-up shots of Dandelion and Casey walking side by side in nature with their fingers almost touching. You could feel the chemistry and the sexual tension. I don't have to see the hardcore moments where they're going at it. I thought much more effective are those little subtle moments. And so I thought that the cinematographer did that really well. I'm glad that we have shows like American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, and so on to help unknown artists showcase their talent and get a break. Do you ever watch those shows? I do. I think they're a lot of fun. We also get to see an adorable prairie dog park. I love the little wahoo that prairie dogs make. It's so cute. There's a YouTube channel. Actually, there are several YouTube channels of pet owners that have prairie dogs. And you get to see those wahoos. So cute. And it sounds like they're saying wahoo. Anyway, back to the movie. Dandelion calls one of her songs Ghosts of Cincinnati, which is where she's from, which I think would have been a great title for this movie rather than simply Dandelion. Now, we learn a little bit about the name Dandelion, and it actually is significant, but I also really liked Ghosts of Cincinnati. She uses that as her first hit single, really. Now, onto the list of things that I didn't like, and that list is very, very short. First of all, let me find my list. Here it is. Sometimes it's really hard to understand what everyone is saying, either because they're talking quietly or there's music going on in the background or for whatever reason. The whole time that Dandelion was in South Dakota having fun with her music and her new romance, I was really worried about her sick mom and wondered how she was doing. And it also seemed a little bit selfish that she would just get up and leave and abandon her sick mother. And you can tell I'm a mother because I'm thinking about that. All right, so whenever I watch movies, I take notes, obviously, and I write down the funny lines and the interesting lines that I hear. And I share them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can find them all there. But I'll share some of them with you right here, right now. So first of all, I thought that this was just kind of funny. And I think, you know, back in my dating days, I was never that clever. So Casey sees her and he says, "What's your name?" And she says, "Dandelion." And he says, "No." And she says, "Well, that's the name I'm giving you." And I thought that that was really cute. And then there were quite a few really good inspirational lines. One is Brady Stubline, who is a real singer who plays himself in the movie. And he says, music is a way of living. When Casey says, hey, you got to make a living, and so he comes back with, no, music is a way of living, which is true. And you see a different way of living in this movie. One of the interesting lines is Dandelion's friend who works at the bar. Well, they become friends because Dandelion performs at this bar, this club. And she's saying, oh, I'm so frustrated. How do I get more views on Instagram and, YouTube or whatever? And her friend says, having Instagram followers don't make you good. And I thought, wow, that is so true. Everybody just thinks that all the numbers are what is most important, and that is not. Another really good line is when Melanie Nicholls-King, who plays Jean, says, get a real job so you don't have to go around selling your stuff. Now, Jean is the mother who is sick, and she's so frustrated. But I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but Jean has some moments of clarity and good advice that she gives her daughter. And then actually, Dandelion gets invited into a studio to perform, and she's very nervous, and she's going to not cut a full album, but just lay, one song down. And the guy in the studio who's recording her song sees that she's getting really nervous, and he says, let yourself get lost in the landscape of the song. And you feel her shoulders go down and she breathes deeply, and she does get lost. You see that happen on the screen. And I just thought that was a magical moment. And earlier in the movie, she says, I don't want to be a 40-year-old troubadour. And then her mom says something. I didn't write down the whole line because it was really long, but the mom says, I wish I could be a 40-year-old troubadour, and I absolutely relate to that. I wish I had that kind of talent, that I could be frustrated, a frustrated artist. I do not have musical talent, and I admire it so, so much. So while I was watching this movie, I instantly thought of 3 movies that I wanted to recommend. They all have to do with struggling musicians and how difficult that is. So the first one I thought of is called After So Many Days. Now, it's actually a documentary about a husband and wife musician, and they go around the world trying to perform. And their goal is to perform every single day, whether it's in front of large audiences or just somebody that they find who's willing to listen to them while they're hoping to make it big. And I thought the music was good. I loved just how they filmed it, the story that they told through their music. And then another one is a feature film, but it's also based on a true story. It's called Unsung Hero. And I really liked it because it's the backstory of 2 different musical groups that I never knew about. And what I especially love about it is as you find out who is that unsung hero, it just really touched my heart. And then another one is called The Neon Highway. And it's also based on a true story. And it's got some fantastic acting, some good music, and a really heartwarming story as well. I've done movie reviews of all 3 of these. I'll queue up maybe Unsung Hero simply because it's the most recent one that I did. But you can find all of my reviews of these on my YouTube channel on Movie Review Mom. All right, that's it. Hopefully you'll enjoy these films. And if you do, give them a thumbs up when I have the videos out. Subscribe, tell all your friends, join me, help me to grow my channel so that more people can get the inside scoop on the films that are coming out. I love films so much. It's such an incredible medium. And I think you do too, because you're watching this film. When you get a minute, run over and visit me on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, all of the social media out there. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.